Hey guys, Plop here. A little bit of a difficulty with the episode that you're about to see. For some reason, my recording system did not record the audio from my microphone. So the voice that you're going to hear during the video is Future Plop, aka me. So it may not be 100% accurate to what I was saying in the time, but the effort and the meaning is there behind it. I apologize if this video is a little bit off from what you expect, but hopefully we don't run into this issue again. You know, new year, new problems, but hey, we work through it, we figure it out. Thank you guys again for all of your patience, and hopefully we can avoid this in the future. So, thank you very much, and enjoy the video. Hi, welcome to the episode. And today we are going to take a look around and see. I believe they wanted us to check out the Corvega plant. So here we go. Okay. So down south to the Corvega assembly plant. So let's go ahead and start making our way there. It's a little bit of a walk, but before we do, let's go ahead and level up here. I believe this is our last level up in endurance, so I'll probably either go charisma or strength next.
That farm, run by ghouls? Isn't that something?
And here we come across the Bedford Station. I came across a little bit of an issue in this area. As you can see, there's quite a bit of ghouls that came after me. A little bit new to the aiming mechanics, so unfortunately my aiming is not the best here as it should be, and I tried to limit my bullet usage, and so I tried to mainly stick with melee damage in this portion and most combat portions if at all possible. So did get hit quite a bit, lost a bit of health, figured out how to use stim packs in a quick pinch to be able to heal properly throughout the time frame. So as we continue on here, that'll kind of be a continuing thread, but we'll probably go ahead and speed through the rest of this little combat section and hop on to the next little part. Now, for some reason, picking up that 10mm round triggered my memory that in the last episode, I never actually equipped the gun that I had crafted, that hardened 10mm pistol. So that was kind of my indicator to pick that up. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the loading dock terminal. Cargo regulations. Bedford Station cargo regulations. All cargo manifests are to be logged in this terminals. Logs will be maintained locally for 6 months before being archived to holotape. Intake shipment occurs between 8 and 8:30. Delivery to the quarry is expected no later than noon. No exceptions. Output shipments occur between 1500 and 1700, which is 3 and 5. Cargo designation 000 miscellaneous should be forwarded to the quarry. Notify Foreman Lanaham upon arrival for further instructions. So the day before the explosion and the day of the explosion. Mostly just bits of construction equipment, a little bit of granite picked up from there as well. this is early in the morning and late afternoon. And the day of the explosion, they only made it to 8:30 in the morning, and output was pending afterwards. I did have a theory at this point so that it would be interesting if there was another vault at the quarry, which we did pass earlier on, I believe in the last episode. I did kind of speed past it, but we'll at some point go take a look at that. But yeah, I noticed there was a little bit of a waver in the air there, and I was trying to figure out where it was coming from. It was almost like a heat waver, but it was from oil on the ground. And as I'll find out later on in this episode, you can use oil in a very interesting tactic. A little bit of movement caught my eye over there. Just another ghoul. Another one to the right there as well. Wanted to see how close I could get before being able to use that scanning program. I believe it's called VAT, V-A-T in the game. I found it on accident by just hitting buttons, but completely missed all my shots there. And for some reason, they always like to go after dog meat before me. Got a nice little critical hit there, so that was exciting. Some more bottle caps and a paintbrush. And I was trying to figure out where the other one went that I saw, and then I noticed it was picking up and attacking a body over there in the corner, so that kind of caught my attention. Missed most of my shots there again. And I noticed with this hardened pistol, my shots are quite a bit stronger than they typically are, which is nice. Helena here, and I was curious about Helena's instructions. Debated taking her outfit because it looked cool, but I also didn't want to leave a corpse naked in the outworld, so it just felt weird. Package arrives at midnight. Now, this caught my attention, and I did have a theory as to whether or not waiting around till midnight would have an effect on the game, as I did notice there was a time system on the map. So I could see it was about 9:48 at night in the game, and I had a theory about whether or not anything would actually happen at midnight. So I wanted to wait around and see if anything did occur. Found a station master's terminal, and of course had to go poking in there. Spotlight control caught my eye. No intruder detected, 2 spotlights linked. I kind of fiddled around with that for a little bit before moving on to the next spot. Decided to activate them because why not?
It's past. She's late. No, something's wrong. Someone's coming. Look, 5 of them. It's a trap. Damn it, they've got us surrounded. What do we do? I'll draw them off. Give me a count of 10, then break for the tree line. What? Dutchman, There's no time. Good luck, A9. 10, 9, 8, 7. No! No! No. I'm not going back. I can't. I won't.
So it definitely sounds like they ran into some issues there. And at this point, I was kind of starting to think that maybe the arrival arrives at midnight was just a callback to their meeting that went south. But I still wanted to stick around and see if there was anything that happened. Debated going out and looking at the tree line to see if I could find that body, but figured it was probably not worth it in that situation. So I will go ahead and skip ahead until it becomes midnight. Now, during this portion, I was just trying to kill a little bit of time, figured I'd go and poke through the train cars. Didn't really find too much from what I can remember, but it was a cool system being able to go in and out of the train cars and see if there was even anything there. This portion here, I had a thought about maybe trying to get onto the top of the train car, but quickly found that there wasn't an easily accessible way. Ran through the little tracking light since I noticed earlier on there was a message about disturbances being caught in the lights and wanted to see if that would come through later on. Unfortunately, it didn't. Noticed that you had the ability to sleep in sleeping bags, which was kind of nice since I hadn't really found a way to be able to do so up until this time. Now, I didn't want to wander too far away from the train station area, but did want to try and look around a bit and see if there was, something to kind of help kill the time, since I did notice earlier on there's not a way to wait in this game like you can with Skyrim and other similar titles created by this company. So it was just a little bit weird, but it ended up working out. I only had about 40 minutes to go with in-game time to get to midnight. Just decided to poke around a little bit more. Now, dog meat during this portion did keep scaring me slightly, because every time he made a little noise, I was worried it was another ghoul coming up to come behind me. I noticed a train or a car or something up there. Did catch my attention, and wanted to go poke over and see if maybe there was a way to get up to it, but it didn't look like there was from this direction at least. But I noticed it was getting closer and closer to midnight here, so I kind of wanted to stay in the area just in case anything happened.
Right there. Hey, come on.
I was trying to get him to do a trick there, but for some reason the game thought I was trying to tell him where to move to. And 12:01, so nothing really happened in that area, so I figured it was just time to move on to the next location. Now, as I came across this area, I was kind of excited to see a train that had a lock on it. I thought there might be something interesting inside it, but well, as I kind of got into place of it, there wasn't really too much. I did find a bed that I was able to sleep in, or at least a mattress, as well as a skeleton, I believe. We'll see here in a second. Oh yeah, and I did find a melon, so more food resources for the home. Yeah, but not much else in here. Looks like the storyline for that person that's trapped in there, they were just trying to keep themselves safe from the outside world, and unfortunately may have kept themselves a little too safe. I did find out that you could sleep and pass the time that way, so that was kind of nice. Kind of rested the day away a little bit and kept on going my way. Lexington. Very interesting city, to say the least. Was very intrigued by this Porta Diner. Seemed to have one perfectly preserved slice of pie or cake in the center of it. Looked like maybe it was a crane game where you can try and win it. I feel like it might be a little bit rigged, so I didn't want to waste too much time on it, but kind of wanted to poke around this car garage area and just kind of see what I could find. Little office space. I was a bit hopeful that I might find something. At the very least, I did find some bullet rounds to kind of restock some of my materials, but not much else in the space. Found a little out of order elevator shaft here, or at least that's what I'm assuming it's meant to be. Though for a single level parking garage, doesn't really feel like it would be necessary unless it goes down. Did come across this motorcycle. I was really excited, hoping that it would work, but unfortunately it didn't. I thought it would be really, really fun to be able to ride around on a motorcycle though. And as I went across the way, I came across Super Duper Mart. I was very intrigued, to say the least. And honestly, I don't know how I didn't pick up that location sooner, looking back at the recording here, since I was just right around the corner from it and in the same little waiting structure outside by that little courtyard. So I was a little hesitant to go inside the building, but it did draw my attention, so... Now, once inside, I was immediately sketched out a little bit because of the numerous amounts of bodies covering the floor, meaning it would either be a very easy stroll through the park and just loot the store, pick up what I could, or they were eventually going to come alive and try and kill me. Now, I was very worried that they would all come alive at once. I don't handle horror games or horror tropes very well, you know, things moving when you're not looking, mannequins that turn and follow you, just really any horror tropes I don't really enjoy. So I was a little hesitant coming through the area, but excited for all the things that I might end up finding. Now, the Nuka-Colas, I'm still not really sure if there's something that I'm meant to be picking up or not, but the Nuka-Cola Quantums looked interesting to me. And here are a couple of the ghouls starting to come alive in the background, and of course, immediately going for dog meat. But I was able to kind of help clear them out a little bit alongside. He did most of the hard work, let's be honest. And thankfully, throughout the building, they would only come alive in batches, so it was much, much easier to handle and deal with than all of them coming alive at once. I'm sure at a later point in the game that might happen when you're a bit more prepared and a bit higher level, but for right now at least, it was very easy to handle, thankfully. Now, this Eatotronic thing kind of made me laugh a little bit about the moldy food sitting inside it. Just the idea of there being like a ready-made meal system mounted to the wall was a little bit silly to me. Just thinking how that would be incorporated into our day-to-day life. But yeah, these sugar bombs also caught my attention. I think I'll grab them here in a second. Yep. Breakfast cereal. I'm assuming it's just like a very sugary breakfast cereal. But it's funny how, what's the word? I can't think of it, but foreshadowing, that's it. How foreshadowing the products and the games and everything that you come across in this world is so focused on nuclear fallout and nuclear bombs, and it's just, it's almost like watching a movie that doesn't age well. Getting back into this room, I did have a little bit of a struggle. The lock was a bit harder than it felt necessary to be, and dog meat spawning on the other side of the door that I was struggling to unlock really kind of made me giggle a bit, because it made me think, oh, the dog has teleportation powers, I guess. But yeah, I was a little cautious coming around corners because I knew stuff was going to start coming alive, and then I could hear it moving around me but couldn't see me. So that was kind of an odd situation. The nice thing is my aim seems to be getting better, however my reaction time still sucks. Now, the fusion core I was very excited to find because it meant that I could give a bit more power to the armor that we had found in Concord with the Minutemen. But also, I kept finding very small fusion core cells throughout the place, and I still don't know what those are used for. I'm assuming maybe some type of weapon or armor or maybe even a vehicle down the road, but there was a lot of them throughout this place. The teddy bear being underneath the trap there really was funny to me. Sally. Due to numerous customer complaints over the past couple of months, it is with a heavy heart to inform you all that we have let Sally go. You may have also noticed that the new espresso machine we ordered has arrived. Until we can make room for it in the kitchen, the espresso machine has been installed on top of Sally's desk. Enjoy, management. Many of you have expressed concerns over the loud clicking noise the espresso machine makes when used. Unfortunately, we won't be able to move the machine for another 2 weeks. Turns out that the industrial mount we ordered won't fit in our kitchen. We are currently in the process of hiring a contractor to come in and knock down a few walls and get the space required for the mount. Please bear with us. Management. Now, Sally being replaced with an espresso machine was also very funny to me because, rip Sally, but hey, we got a new coffee maker. Now, this location, I noticed that there was oil on the ground again, and I had a theory. In Skyrim, if you find oil on the ground and shoot it with an arrow
Heads up.
that's on fire or some kind of flame, it would light. So I had a theory of if I hit it with a bullet, would it do the same? And yes. The only problem is dog meat was in the way, so I had to find a way to move him around. Then I came across Josh. Noticed he had some decent armor on him, so definitely took that for myself. And noticed that he had a holotape, so figured I'd give that a play.
Came back yesterday with Emma. Everyone's gone. Looks like they left in a hurry and had one hell of a fight. Feral corpses everywhere. Emma and I searched for anything that might tell us where they went. Only thing we found was Anthony. Must have been bad. They never would have left his body there. I set Emma down to the loading dock to wait for me while I check on something. We won't stay long. I just want to get Anthony's body in. Wait. The Pharaohs are back. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, needless to say, things did not go very well for Josh. I did notice on the cover this, the little bat babies are really, really adorable, and it did kind of make me smile a little bit. Figured I'd take the gas canister in case there was something important for it later on, and this is when I noticed the tiny little fusion cells. They just were very interesting to me for some reason, and I kept being very fascinated anytime I found them.
Got it.
And there might be Anthony, as well as a friend of Anthony's. And I was a little curious about the military grade duct tape, trying to figure out what the difference is between the two. And then I noticed that it was a Minuteman, and that caught my attention. Now, at this point in time, I forgot the difference between the story that our current Minimet friend back home had told us about an issue in Quincy. That ghoul scared the ever-living daylight out of me when I was playing. I really did not like how it came through the window, and it was absolutely disgusting to me. But at this point in time, I started placing together a theory about how the Minutemen had an issue in Lexington, forgetting that it was Quincy where it happened. Regardless, my theory was here that they had holed up here for some amount of time to try and restock, get some supplies, and things just went south. And I started to piece together this narrative about how they started to fall apart. They just couldn't trust one another. But now remembering back to what our friend back home had said, their issue happened in Quincy, not in Lexington. So I'm still very curious to know what had happened in Quincy to just make everyone distrust them so much, to not be able to put faith in them to help others anymore. And I'm going to be very interested to learn what actually happens. There's a lot about this game that interests me, and it just, the storyline, the theories, everything behind it is so different from any other game that I've played. And this is where I realized that we're in the kitchen, and yeah, there's no space in here for that giant espresso machine. Unless they replace the one that they have currently, but even then, I didn't see it. Now, a locked first aid kit really caught my attention here. And I struggled with it a little bit more than I probably should have, but oh well. And after I unlocked it, I realized why it's locked. Because it's a drug stash. So either some type of medical treatment for the workers to use, or definitely just a stash that people had put drugs in. Now, for some reason, Dogmeat thought it would be hilarious if he completely blocked me from getting out from behind the counter. Like, it was just an absolute struggle. Struggled for a little bit to remember the name for a jukebox here, even though it's on the damn machine, but oh well. Honestly, I could just spend hours walking through the scenery and looking at all the little designs and details that they put into this game. It's so well thought out, and the little stories that they create with the skeletons that are laying around, the things that are left behind, the cleared out shelves. It's just really interesting to see it all and try to piece it together. If I could, I would just genuinely spend days, if not hours. The ghoul just completely falling over the shopping cart absolutely took me out there. And I believe I made a joke along the lines of clean up on aisle 3 when that happened. Which is a shame that it got cut out from the audio, but... Now, here I wanted to explore a little bit further and see if maybe there was something in the basement of the store, which that alone, the store having a basement, was an odd concept to me, only to find that it was in fact the exit to the outside. Now, while we were down here, I found Emma, who was mentioned by Josh while we were up in the store area. Noticed she had a tape on her as well as a little laser, but before I viewed her tape, I wanted to check and see if there was any more information on this little terminal here, which seemed just to be a door control system, so I let that open up and went back to the holotape. I did notice this little marking on the wall over here, and I figured it must have been some kind of Minutemen marker. I know in Skyrim there are certain markers for the Thieves Guild, whether it's a safe place, it's being watched, etc., etc. So it might be something like that. So yeah, things didn't work out that well for Emma or Josh, and this was when I started to piece together that theory that I had mentioned earlier about the party falling apart, not being able to trust each other, and just kind of falling apart from the inside out, and maybe that's why people no longer have respect for the Minutemen, forgetting that the story was based in Quincy was where the big issue had taken place, not Lexington, where we are currently. So again, it'll still be very interesting to see where things actually fall apart for the Minutemen, but wrong city. But we'll see if maybe the idea holds. Figured I'd explore the area a little bit more and found a basketball court, and then got immediately distracted by the body hanging through the hoop. Wanted to see if maybe there was a way to sneak around inside, and thankfully there was. A little bit of gunshots nearby, but I just ignored those. And I was entertained by this body in the hoop, telling him that he was silly and that the ball was supposed to go through the hoop and not himself. I did take his clothes just because I felt that might be nice little underclothing, and then I decided to show him how the basketball goes in the hoop, since obviously he needed a little bit of help in that department. I did want to go on this swing set, and I was a little bit sad that there wasn't a mechanic to swing on it, but you know, you're in the fallout and the aftermath of the apocalypse, so. Now, this raider was very silly to me because he just, for some reason, could not find where I was located. But I was very easily able to find where his buddies' bodies were located. And while looking through and equipping some armor, I think I may have accidentally tossed my Molotov cocktails inside the fire pit afterwards. But I, for the life of me, could not get them out of the fire pit, or whatever it was that got dropped in there. So hopefully I don't end up losing those. That would kind of suck. Now, I did come across this other little area, but there wasn't too much inside of it. But we approached our destination, Corvega Power Plant. So, thank you guys for bearing with me in this little off-way episode, but I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.